Assalamualaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So, in our today's lesson, we will discuss about the general gas equation. So, what is the main purpose of general gas equation? Earlier we have already learned while describing the different laws. The first one law was Boyle's law, the second one is the Charles law, and the third one is the Avogadro's law. And in the Boyle's law, we have the relationship between volume and pressure. And in Charles' law, we have the relationship between volume and temperature, and the Avogadro's, we have the relationship between volume and number of moles of the gas. When all these variables held constant during the changes in the gas, so the gas or the gases have different behavior under the change of conditions. Now we can change three types of conditions. The number one, we can change the temperature, we can change the pressure. Third one is we can change the number of moles or the amount of the gas. So all these three variables will in turn affect the volume of the gas. So the scientists just try to held up it into the a single equation. That equation is known as the general gas equation. So let's have a look on its derivation, that how we can derivate the simple equation. So in the first one, when we have a look on the Boyle's law, it simply states that P is inversely proportional to P. So when it is going to be happen when we keep temperature and number of moles, these are constant. This is the simple known as the Boyle's law. After that, when we have look on the Charles law, what the Charles explained, he just explained that the volume is directly proportional to the temperature, and here we have to keep the pressure and the number of moles. These must be constant. So this is the second thing. 1, 2, and 3. As V over T, it is a constant value. After that, we have the third law, which is also known as the gas laws, or it is also known as the Avogadro's law. It is related to the Avogadro's law. And in Avogadro's law, we just learned that the volume of the given mass is directly proportional to number of moles. And here we have to keep pressure and temperature. Both these must be a constant value. So how we can keep them constant? We are not going to change these values. So if we think for a moment that none of the variables are kept constant, then what will be the effect? If we just see that none of these variables is constant, then what will be the equation? So by compiling all this, here we have the effect on the volume, which we have direct relation with number of moles and temperature, and it was having the inverse relation with the pressure. So proportionality constant, here we have it is equal to K. So V is equal to proportionality constant K into N T over P. So this is the simple relationship that we gain, where K it is a constant value, and when we are talking about the ideal gas equation, then that K will be replaced by the constant, and that constant will be equal to R, that is known as general gas constant. So V is equal to R N into T over P. Now by rearranging this equation, what we just gain? We just gain that by changing all these terms, PV is equal to nRT, and PV is equal to nRT. This is known as the ideal gas equation. This is known as ideal gas equation. So this equation, how we just gained by combining different laws. The first one was Boyle's law, second one was Charles law, and the third one was Avogadro's law. So for 1 mole of any gas, if we have value of n is equal to 1, then what will be the equation? So the equation will be PV is equal to R into T. On the other hand, if we have temperature and number of moles held constant in this equation, what we are going to held constant? Temperature and the number of moles. Then the equation will be P into V is equal to R. Here, what thing we are going to constant? Temperature and number of moles. On the other hand, when we have the term constant, which is according to the Charles law, pressure and number of moles. When we have pressure and number of moles constant, then what we just gain? We just gain V over T is equal to R. So which is a constant and it is according to the law, that is Charles law. So here we have just proved that the P into V is equal to nRT. This is simple general gas equation. So we can also apply it to the different laws. On the other hand, if we keep these two constant like is equal to 1, then P1 V1 over T1 is equal to P2 V2 over T2. So this is the simple general gas equation that is applying to the different constant quantity or the molar gas equations. I hope you guys understand about the derivation of the ideal gas equation, as it was very simple. You have to just combine up the different laws related to the gases, and at the end you just gain this equation. And in the next topic, we will discuss about the ideal gas constant. So we will find the value of the R by applying different conditions. For that time, you guys have a good day and keep learning.